Welcome back to the Modus Super Series following that slight technical glitch which just caused a break in play in this fixture between Kenya and Germany, which is led 3-2 by Germany, who have 141 points left to win the match.
55. Germany require 141.
Yeah, and after that visit from Kelsey, but at least 6 from here. Going to need all 6.
89.
Peter Vachuri here, just in a position, just wants to try and add a bit of pressure. When Outhouse returns for 52.
$22. Germany require 52.
Well, that's not going to help, is it? Even if this doesn't go, Kenya now can't do a thing about it. But it does go.
And the match, Team Germany.
And it was worth the wait for Team Germany, a 4-2 win that actually doubles their win tally for the evening and puts them on 4 points, maximum points from the first 2 games. Are they going to be the surprise package? Marcel Althaus enjoying his time at the Super Series. Peter Vachuri and Manpreet Kelsey go down 4-2 in their opener, and Schlichting and Althaus, well, they get a win for the second time tonight. 4-2, and you'll be able to see both Peter Vachuri and Marcel Althaus at the Influencer event coming live on Sunday.
Anyone who's going to try and attempt to loot Littler again, my money's on this man. Whoa! Here comes Jaden Walker.
Oh, hold on. Yay! We have the first one from an influencer.
This has to go for Jaden. Big pressure for the little man, but what a shot to stay alive this would be.
Go! Jaden Walker, take a break! It's Angry Jay!
For a 2-0 lead, who saw this coming?
Gage on the second leg!
Me and you have a problem. A serious problem. I am the 3 times champion of the world.
What a nervy game, a nervy encounter. He is the favourite now to go on and win it, and he's trying to get...
And I have heard a rumour that you think you're going to win this match today. You, my friend, have got a problem. You're getting it!
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
All mouth, it's all mouth. When he says champion, remember that's BDO, all right? You don't want to throw that in, BDO.
There is a chance, but it's not to be. The winners, Angry Ginge and Jaden Walker win it 3-2.
It's Angry Ginge and 12-year-old Jaden Walker!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series live on Pluto TV, where you could be here on Saturday night. There are still a handful of tickets available via dartshop.tv. Can't be here on Sunday for the Influencers event, so you'll have to watch that from midday on Pluto TV. Stay with this channel. Make sure you've marked it in your favourites on the Pluto app. And any Saturday night for the next series, you can be here for just a £5. So head to dartshop.tv, get yourself down here if you can. The question is, will Wales be here on Saturday night? And saying that sentence was unthinkable for most of the week when they stormed to a huge lead in Group A, 8 points at one point. But now have found themselves losing 5 games on the spin, including their first tonight, a shock defeat to Germany, who've got maximum points, by the way, 2 wins from 2. And now having to try and beat the much fancied Irish team.
108.
But that's the more positive start by Kurt Parry. Kicks us off with a maximum. Yet Wales just really didn't look particularly settled in that opening fixture against the German pair. Whereas Shane McGurk and John O'Shea, they were in a real battle with Danny Van Tripe and Jimmy Van Schie. Managed to get over the line in the end, but went all the way.
81. $60. 140.
Burnett just checking the score. Can't finish 176, Richie.
$66.
Yeah, 3 well thrown darts. Unfortunate outcome. 2 just in the wrong treble.
140.
And a mountain of pressure put on there by John O'Shea.
Game shot on the first leg.
Real confident finish and a confident route taken as well there by Kurt Parry.
Second leg, it's Ireland to throw first. Game on.
And hopefully that's the settler that Wales needed. 15 dart hole to throw for the opening leg.
$121. $96.
Yeah, good adjustment in the end for John O'Shea. Now Richie Burnett just looking to back up the opening score of Kurt Parry.
100. $108.
Yeah, now another maximum for the Irish pair.
58. Ireland, you require 132.
Well, it's kind of gone this way to set up
92.
Shane anyway, but could have ended up taking it out.
When you've got that kind of lead, it's sensible. It's about playing the probabilities and a real neck jerk there from Richie Burnett. Pulls it into
81.
the one.
Ireland, you require 40. Game shot on the second
Top
leg.
corner.
Team Ireland. Third leg, it's Wales to throw first. Game on.
One.
135.
Ireland, of course, went the distance against the Dutch, winning a last leg decider.
140. 82.
It's a good adjustment in the end for Richie Burnett. You can see he's visibly frustrated though up there on the hockey. We know he's an animated character anyway. And
20.
Bit of a disaster there for John O'Shea because that third dart knocked the one out that was in the treble 20. And Kurt Parry now really looking to punish. And all John O'Shea can do in the background is laugh because, yeah, what was a potential 140 ended up being just 20 points.
You require 104.
Double 16 then for 2-1 to Wales.
88. $140. Wales, you require 16. Game shot on the third leg.
Nicely
Team Wales.
converted. And they're better off than they were in the first match already. A 2-1 lead.
Fourth leg.
For a
It's
Welsh team
Ireland
that are
to the
determined
reverse.
to stop this
Game on.
seismic slide.
I mean, we know it, don't we? When it's a race to four and you've got the kind of competitive levels that these players can play at, it is something that can go either way. But like you say, when you've had that kind of consistent run at winning and then you end up losing
27.
now 5 in a row in the case of Wales, you just want to stop the slide. Could argue we saw it this afternoon when we were watching Belgium, because Belgium had a real bad patch in the middle of the afternoon session where they just couldn't find a double, and then all of a sudden found one and ended up playing two of the best performances of the entire session.
Yeah, and therefore are in contention going into tomorrow, as is everybody in that group.
$45.
Decent game this so far. Nothing between them in terms of the standard.
44.
Well, that's a scrappy one, and I think that's been the thing with Kurt Parry, particularly as the week has worn on. It's been very much all or nothing for him.
134.
Yeah, it's not kind of part of Richie's plan, is it? Because he wants the power scoring from Kurt Parry, and then he just wants to take the glory by mopping up at the end.
100.
Great homecoming, by the way, for Luke Humphries in Leeds. He's won the Premier League night there. Will be very special to him. That's 2 years on the trot, isn't it, for Humphries?
96.
Yeah, he always redesigns his shirt in Leeds colours every time he goes back up there. Had a slightly different design on tonight.
140.
Yeah, having lived in Leeds for many years
Ireland,
as a
you
Sheffield
require
Wednesday fan, I can't
88.
think of anything worse than being at the darts there tonight.
63.
Well, that's
Wales, you
on the ring
require
road.
90.
Hasn't found its location. Richie Burnett might end up going for the same target at the end of this visit. Well, he won't now. He needs a treble. Treble 15. Not going to happen.
$30. Ireland, you
Just
require
feel it's been a rather
25.
subdued version of Richie Burnett tonight. Hasn't got that Burnett bounce, has he, about him?
$9.
Maybe it will
Wales,
come
you
back
require 60.
if his teammate can convert this. I think he just dropped his darts on the floor as his opponent was his teammate was throwing. Sorry,
Game shot
didn't
on the
matter.
fourth leg.
Parry
Team
does the
Wales.
business. Wales lead 3-1.
Yeah, Parry
Fifth
looking
leg, it's Wales to
really
throw
rather
first.
focused to me, much more so than the first game. And not quite sure where Richie's looking, but the face of contemplation here at the Modus Live Lounge.
40.
Yeah, looked like a man that was waiting for his fish to be fried, didn't he?
100.
Don't think we've ever seen a more serious version of Richie Burnett.
96.
Jokes aside, it must have been quite heartbreaking for them to suffer that experience yesterday, because you could just see it all unfolding, and this has to happen, and this has, and it was getting closer and closer.
81.
And then you're thinking, well, this might happen, this could happen, this probably will happen, and then it did.
108.
Yeah, it's difficult, but they're definitely bouncing back here in this second match. The third maximum for the Welsh pair.
Yeah, and I just think about Team Germany on 4 points. They might prefer an Ireland victory here already early in this group, because it leaves everybody else on 0, doesn't it?
45.
Yeah, still got a way to go, but as you mentioned earlier, there are less games in Group B, and time can run up quite quickly.
Yeah, this is the fourth game of
55.
10 tonight, 10 more tomorrow
Wales
night as
require
well.
140.
But it looks like the Welsh are about to return to winning ways.
Yeah, just trying to remind Richie Burnett just behind if he doesn't convert this.
Double top he wants.
Game shot.
Burnett's back, baby.
Team Wales.
Wales win again. After suffering the slump of all slumps, Team Wales are back on top with a 4-1 win over Ireland. It might have been hard work, but that will be a nice feeling after suffering 5 defeats on the spin. And remember, their winning run before that was vast. So can they now turn their week around? A 4-1 win for Wales over Ireland. Up next, the Netherlands take on Kenya.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
Yeah, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. We've just seen Wales back to winning ways with a 4-1 victory over Ireland, making the table look rather interesting at the moment. Well, right now, all attention is back on the Dutch pair. They actually lost their opening match to Ireland. It was 4-3. And well, Kenya suffered the same fate at the hands of Germany. Germany have won both their opening encounters. But for these two, both on no points at the moment. So looking to pick up their first win in Group B. And I don't know what you think, Chris, but just based on the way and what we've seen from them play, how we've seen them play tonight, I would say that the Dutch duo are very heavy favourites coming into this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a fair assessment. There was nothing between them and Ireland, really, was there? The 2 points went the other way. But you would expect them to pick up the victory in this one without any disrespect to Kenya at all. They had moments in that 4-2 defeat to Germany. I don't think we'll see them go through the whole group without winning matches. But the Dutch have been fantastic this week.
And they really played themselves into a position when it came to Group A. I know we referenced it a few times, but it was that 4-0 victory, 105 average. And I mean, that's good in any arena, but to do that in a pairs, it's just all the more difficult. But that 4-0 victory then just moved them right into position to get potentially to have actually qualified as winners of Group A, where as it went, it ended up being Scotland that went through automatically, and they secured their place in Group B.
Yeah, and it's a team that is very much full of potential, isn't it? This Dutch duo. They're not players with enormous reputations from the past. When you look at some of the other teams in this group, Richie Burnett, John O'Shea, you look at Mervyn King and Steve West, the pairing of England. These are two players who probably feel they've got the best days ahead of them. Danny Van Tripe has had a tour card for a couple of years, back off the tour now, but we've seen many a player take that step back before taking giant leaps forward.
It really is a learning curve, and I think what you've got now when you do come off the tour is just all these other opportunities to kind of progress and just hone your skills within darts, because there are just so many platforms that you can play on, this being one of the best.
He did win a challenge tour title at the weekend, Van Tripe. So when you add Jimmy Van Ski's Phoenix Club Waterlooville, then they're both title winners this week, aren't they? But will they be lifting a trophy together on Saturday night?
100.
Yeah, and by way of Danny Van Tripe's position on the Challenge Tour table, has been invited to the Pro Tour next week as well.
90. Kenya, you require 76.
Real chance here for Kenya to take the opening leg.
56. Netherlands, you require 60. Game shot on the first leg.
It was a costly miss in the end for Peter Vachuri as Jimmy Van Ski converts 60 to take leg number 1.
Second leg, it's Kenya.
Was that becoming their little signature move, that overhead fist bump?
Because Jimmy Van Ski, you know, he's notably that much taller. I didn't realise until you see Danny Van Tripe stand up next to him. He's quite tall himself. They are, you know, a really quite tall pairing.
Well, the Dutch are the tallest nation in the world, statistically.
108!
And that's a rather tall score to start this leg.
$140.
Yeah, solid response there from Kelsey.
60.
We've had a couple of the pairs go back-to-back 180s, kind of tempting us with the notion of the first ever televised pairs 9-darter.
Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it, to have that history here at the Super Series. We got the first ever televised female 9-darter when Fallon Sherrock produced perfection.
100. Netherlands, you require.
My commentary colleague Glenn Durrant was once involved in a mixed pairs 9-dart finish, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was indeed.
Assuming he just threw the one visit.
Yeah. Can you require 106?
Can't be done.
$74. Netherlands, you require 64.
Machuri setting up nicely, but 64 required here to deny the Kenyans the opportunity. Slight pause there from Vanshki, 88 the target.
$56. Kenya, you require 32.
Kelsey then for parity.
Game shot on the second
And
leg.
parity is
Team
achieved.
Kenya.
Well, one thing we have seen so far, particularly from Germany, but
Third
also
leg,
from
it's
Kenya,
the
is that the
Netherlands to
two
throw
outsiders
first.
in this group certainly
Game on.
are going to stand up and be competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think you can kind of forgive players, especially here on debut, maybe a bit edgy in the
58.
first opening game, but Kelsey really does seem to have settled down. I think there's quite a bit of pressure on that. Last start in hand, need the double just to make it one apiece, or you face the threat of going 2-0 behind.
96. $60.
Well, it's non-stop darts this week. Double session today, double session tomorrow, as we find out who will be the Six Nations at the International Pairs Finals night on
41.
Saturday. Then Sunday, it's the latest edition of the Modus Super Series Red Dragon Influencer Darts Showdown. Some
6.
big names in action there. We are going to see the 12-year-old sensation Jaden Walker back at the Live Lounge. That became a huge story in the world of darts when he was at the last influencer event.
62.
And then on Monday, a brand new series gets started, Laura, and we will be revealing the lineup for week 1 later tonight.
100.
Yeah, it's non-stop and moving into another series.
138.
Smart stuff that from the Prince to leave the King on a finish.
59. Kenya, you require 164.
Kenya kind of wrestled the advantage of throwaway from the Dutch pair. Treble 18 for the ball for a 164 finish.
117. Netherlands, you
Promised a
require
lot, but in the end just
164.
pulled it low.
Different route tried by Van Truyt, but he can't get any success himself.
70.
Although ironically does
Kenya,
find
you
the bullseye the
require
bit that Peter
47.
couldn't do. $37 remaining, so 32, double 16 for Kelsey to give Kenya the lead, and he
Game shot on the
does.
third leg. Team Kenya. Fourth flag.
They've
It's
got the
Kenya
moves.
to throw first. Game on.
And now they'd like to see and use that celebration a couple of times more in this match. They've broken the Dutch pair, and this is a great start once again from Peter Wachuri.
123.
Just get the sense there that they're feeding off each other now. The Kenyan team. We saw Kelsey hit the doubles. Now Wachuri kicking off with a big visit.
96. Yeah,
it's been a real step up in performance for Kelsey and Wachuri from their opening match. But as I said before, you may
45.
get just be a little bit edgy in your first match up there on the live lounge stage.
Little unfortunate there. Like that last dart didn't creep in. It was well thrown. Doesn't like the light. But it doesn't stop him throwing two beautiful darts.
Kelsey really is looking for a treble. It's a great last dart. Puts him down to a finish first.
Kenya, you require 158.
2 points in it, but advantage Kenya at the Oki first. And may only need one visit here. Another one there would leave double 19. Oh, just the wrong side of the wire.
Netherlands, you require 160.
It was a last minute switch looking at kind of where his eyes jumped across to the 15s.
Kenya, you require 68.
So can Kelsey take out another finish and give Kenya a 3-1 advantage in this game? It's one dart at tops.
28. Netherlands, you require 125.
Yeah, but this isn't a given. Treble 20. A chance here for Peter Venturi to extend the lead of Kenya to go within one of the match.
Game shot on the 4 flag.
Well, this
Team
could be
Kenya.
a big story, a big scoreline. Kenya looked to get in on the act, and it would leave the Netherlands pointless
Game on.
at the foot of the table.
And you remember, Netherlands came into tonight being
140.
second favourites just behind Wales.
$60. 100. $58. 55. 80. 100.
So 106 for the Dutch to stay in this when they return. It's not over yet.
60. Netherlands, you require 106.
No, and you would expect a bit of a fight back here from the Dutch pair. Double 16 for a 106,
Yes, on the
and
fifth
106
leg,
is
the
found. It was a good response there from the
Sixth
pair,
leg, it's
15
Kenya to
dart.
throw first.
But now
Game on.
they need to find a way of breaking the Kenyans.
$135. $96.
Pressure applied from the off. Kelsey now looking to back up his partner. It's a really inviting first dart.
140.
Possibly the best start of a leg for the Kenyan duo. 135, 140, but back comes Van Tripe.
140. $140.
Well, the Kenyans here really are looking to serve out the match on throw. They don't want it to go 3 apiece. That would give the advantage back to the Dutch pair.
$58. Kenya, you require 86.
So to win the match.
$46.
He almost pulled it into the treble 17, but got away with it in the end.
66. Kenya, you require 40.
And this is for the match for a 4-2 victory.
It would be a disappointing start for Netherlands,
Game shot.
but it is
and the
victory for
match,
Kenya.
Team Kenya.
Big hook for Peter Wachiri and Danny Van Tripe. Jimmy Van Ski, gracious in defeat as well. Manpreet Kelsey and Peter Wachiri celebrate their first victory. There's a hug for Jack Garwood, the referee, as well. And it's a 4-2 win for Kenya. We pick up points along with Wales and Ireland. Germany, though, have won both of their games so far and are looking to make a hat-trick against Ireland after the break. Right, welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we've had an interesting evening's action. They are the results, as if by magic. Germany's pairing of Marcel Althaus and David Schlichting, a 4-1 win over Wales, Burnett and Parry. Then Ireland got a victory over the Netherlands. Germany doubled their points tally with a victory over Kenya. Wales got back to winning ways after 5 games without. And then Kenya with a shock victory over the Netherlands. That means that the Netherlands find themselves at the foot of the table without a point to their name. And Germany are top on 4 points. Ireland, I believe, do have a couple of points. Apologies for the little blip on the table there. But it is Germany at the top. Kenya, Wales and Ireland on 2. And Netherlands on 0. So Germany now with a chance to make it 6 points from as many possible.
Yeah, whilst the point tally may have been slightly incorrect, I think the order was still the same. And the 2 teams that came into tonight's proceedings at the foot end of the odds, Germany and Kenya, they're the 2 that find themselves in a relatively good position at the moment.
Well, it's difficult now to say that Ireland are strong favourites. You would have said that before the night for this fixture, but Germany are the team that have won both their matches.
Yeah, and especially when Germany have had an opportunity to finish up a match, they've been really efficient. The opening win that they had, they were 4 from 7, but they were really clutch finishes as well that they got as they went along. Those kind of 2 dart checkouts taken really quite well, and then 4 from 9 in their 4-2 win over Kenya as well. For me, that's been the real strength from both of them.
Oh, David Schlichting just got pied by his teammate there, who's going for a fist bump.
First leg, it's
Marcel
Germany to
Althaus
the
was having
first.
none of it. Oh, there we go. Handshake in the end.
Game on.
So everybody's shaking hands. And now the throwing begins. And it's an opportunity for Germany. I mean, they're already in a good position. They would put themselves within touching distance of qualification, I think, by winning one more match tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
36.
It's just given Ireland a little bit to think about, especially that heavy defeat that they took at the hands of Wales. It was 4-1, and they didn't do a great deal wrong, but it was, again, efficient finishing from the Welsh pair, including a 110 checkout, and it was really well timed from them. Ireland now with a bit of work to do.
140. $91.
I mean, although it hasn't been pairs, I've had the privilege of playing in a couple of Group B campaigns, and I will say, if you're that player, or in this instance that team that can make the strong start, your confidence just really grows, and that's what I think we're seeing from Germany.
Yeah, drifted into the 1, so now it's just about trying to set up his teammate the best he can.
Ireland, you require 145. $43.
Yeah, a couple of attempts at ball there for John O'Shea, and both wandered off to the west.
60.
A double 15 not found.
102.
So there's an opportunity here for McGurk. Treble 17 would leave tops.
$82. Germany
He
requires
tidies it up in the end, but to Germany. 30 required. Just needs to pop one over the top.
No score. Ireland, you require 20.
And a bit of look of shock there from Outhouse. I think he felt that last one was in. Wasn't far away, but far away enough to give John O'Shea the chance here.
Game shot on the first leg. Team Ireland.
Again, a bit of a good reaction. Fierce from John O'Shea.
Second leg. It's Ireland to throw first. Game on.
Still going, isn't he? Pumped up for this.
108.
Is a 180 that you could have got on a pinhead.
59.
Right. Come on, John. Let's see another one. It's going to annoy me now and hit 2 treble 20s, isn't it?
100.
Not quite.
No, and I think by way of hitting just one, I think John O'Shea's annoyed himself.
58.
Just say we haven't really experienced some of the fireworks and frolics that we thought we might see this evening. There've been moments from this man in particular. I think he was getting ready for one there, wasn't he? Then he realised the dart didn't go in.
21.
Yeah, premature 180 celebration. Yeah, it's 110 left. Treble 20 would have left the ball, but didn't have to go for it. So looking to set something up.
49.
Possibly hasn't made as much of that as he'd have liked.
$43. Ireland, you require 72.
So no pressure on Shane McGurk here. Another single 16 would tee up tops.
52. $57. Ireland, you require 20.
Schlichting just chasing around the board, trying to find a treble, but to no avail. And it's 5-5 now for John O'Shea. And
no score. Germany require
Opposite
144.
bust in the end.
$56. Ireland, you require 20.
Now it's McGurk chasing around the board. 5-5, the intended target.
10. Germany, you require 88.
And it's an opportunity for Germany to level up this match and effectively take control of it. They would have the throw, of course, in the next leg. Bullseye for Schlichting.
63.
And it wasn't too far away from being
Ireland, you
flicked in.
require 10. No score.
Yeah, and there's
Germany
the clap from
requires
John O'Shea.
25.
Real chance squandered by the Irish pair.
8-8 for 1 apiece.
17. Ireland, you require
McGurk can
10.
get Ireland out of this situation and double their lead in the match. Double 2 to do so.
6.
One of those legs, isn't it?
Germany, you require 8.
Well, they've used less darts to get down to a double than they have to actually find the final double.
Game shot
And it
on
was
the
always
second
going to
leg,
end on
Team
double 1.
Germany.
But it's an important leg, worth exactly the same as a 9-darter.
Third leg, it's Germany to throw first. Game on. $96.
Sometimes the difference, particularly in this short format, first of all, can be who wins the scrappy legs.
Yeah, and when you do have the scrappy legs, I'll be honest, if you're the one that comes out on top, it doesn't really matter. It's a bit of one you got away with. But if you were in the position that Ireland were in, you could extend your lead 2-0. And they must have spurned maybe 10 darts at the outer ring there. That's the one that kind of hurts. And you have to bounce back quick because, as you say, the format isn't long.
$134.
A bit of a celebration there. He really is up for this. Putting that national jersey on, that can bring the beast out, can't it?
Well, John O'Shea is kind of one of those animated players anyway, isn't he? And I feel like everyone's just been a little bit subdued to start with tonight. You know, there is a job to do. Everyone wants to get into Saturday's finals, but I think as the night and the group progresses, we're going to see more of those big personalities start coming out as things start to really shape up on the table.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to G not just himself up, but spark some life into his partner as well.
59. $60. $93. Germany requires.
Chase round the board for the treble, does find one in the end, but it's Germany. 148 required. Another one of those. Over for double 14 for a 148.
120. Ireland, you require 114.
What it does do is maybe just gives Germany the advantage again. O'Shea may have to take this. I knew he was going to do that at least once this week. Tops.
74. Germany require 28. $14. Ireland, you require 40.
A miss for Germany. And now McGurk, you feel, has to take this, and take it he does.
Team Ireland.
Just see that bit of aggression again between them, and
Full flag,
O'Shea.
it's Ireland to throw first.
Giving Shane a few words of encouragement before kicking off leg 4.
$96.
I think he has recently qualified as a darts coach, hasn't he, John O'Shea? So maybe utilising what he's learned on those courses.
Yeah, I know he's been doing quite a bit of work over in Ireland.
140.
Well, you can teach him how to celebrate. I think he's the kind of coach who'll be like Jose Mourinho running down the touchline at the end of this match.
Could you imagine it? Some kind of ocky side assistance from your coaches.
Well, there's a lot of unwritten rules in darts, and there isn't actually a rule about where you stand, is there, when your opponent's throwing? Or when your teammate's throwing, for that matter. So you could maybe just stand alongside him, check that the stance is right, and the elbow height is in the correct position.
Oh, could you imagine?
134.
And now I think we're starting to see, because one team is doing it, the other team are starting to give it back.
$60.
So just watch this space.
140. Ireland, you
A
require
rather muted celebration, but one all the same.
We saw Germany narrowly miss the 148 in the leg before, but also not going to go for Shane McGurk.
Germany require 110. $78.
So O'Shea
Ireland, you require
to open up a bit of daylight in this darting duel. Double top.
Game shot on the full flag. Team Ireland.
It's Gadwin O'Shea at the Super Series.
Fifth flag. It's Germany to throw first. Game on.
It is, you know, the noise, the guan, it's definitely something we've heard on the Premier League stages recently.
He's still going in the background. Look at him.
100.
I have to say, I have been watching John O'Shea more than I've been watching Shane McGurk when he's been at the Oki, because his face is so animated. He's living every dart with Shane McGurk.
68.
The victory here would put Ireland level on points with Germany, of course, at the top of the table.
66.
Oh, massive bounce
25.
out. I think it was on the wire, really, between the 20 and the 5. But when you're on the back foot, you don't think like that as a player. You just think, oh, kind of luck's not going with me on this
93.
one.
We are closing in seemingly on a very
121.
convincing victory here. May just be a couple of visits away.
Yeah, get ready for the roar from John O'Shea.
162.
Or maybe we'll hear it after Shane McGurk's visit, because that would be the match.
96. Ireland, you require.
And it would be the first
40.
defeat for Germany.
Game shot and the match.
And that's exactly what occurs. Shane McGurk and John O'Shea get their second win of the night. And Germany are beaten for the first time. So Ireland, with that victory, go level on points with Team Germany. Well-earned win, 4-1. A couple of 180s in there. A couple of big bellows from John O'Shea as well. They'll be back later this evening. Coming up next, we'll see Wales take on the Netherlands.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor.
Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
David Evans.
Could be some kid. Perez by top. He gets the top.
This is really good. Bullseye.
Tops needs to go here and
On a fifth flag.
excellent 160 finish there.
The new series gets underway on Monday. Jeff Smith from Canada, Mervyn King is sticking around, Adrian Gray, David Evans, Christian Perez and the ADC Europe qualifier Dustin Strava. Group B, Adam Mould, James Hubbard, former World Youth Champion Gary Stone, and Group C, Ashley Coleman, Darren Brown and Daniel Ayres complete the lineup for the first week of Series 11. But now it is going to be a meeting between Wales and the Netherlands. I'm sure we'll see all of these players back on the stage by themselves in the next series, Laura, but it's a team game this week, and it's Netherlands that are in a spot of bother, isn't it?
Yeah, and I will say Wales looked rather invigorated after their last match. Definitely bounced back after the disappointment of losing their opener. And as you say, it's Netherlands that have got their back against the wall slightly.
Yeah, they do look different, don't they? Particularly Richie Burnett, he's back doing his full Jungle Book routine now. But it can get you down, can't it? Defeat after defeat. And they've suffered enough of those in a row with the heartbreak of missing out. But Netherlands are in that patch tonight. 2 losses from 2. If they lose this one, they're going to find themselves 4 points adrift of the
First
top
leg,
3.
it's Wales to throw first.
Should be just
Game on.
finding somewhere to stand. It's not the longest stage. Of course, it's quite an intimate venue, so the floor space is needed to get as many people in as possible on a Saturday night.
96.
And Danny Van Tripe found that out, didn't he? Quite dramatically earlier this week.
He did indeed. Yeah, you have to be kind of careful with your foot placement up there.
97.
Speaking of foot placement, Kurt Parry never lets us down in the shoe stakes, does he? Some shiny numbers he's got on him there. We'd see them all the time if Richie Burnett wore
45.
them.
100.
Oh, look, he's a dab hand with the old polish, isn't he?
Yeah, very shiny.
36.
It always used to be shirts that we had the conversation with around, and it's actually great to see some of the pairings. They've obviously gone away and got their matching shirts, but shoes, they've definitely become a point of conversation over the last couple of years as well.
Oh, they are beauties.
100.
I think I might invest in a
Netherlands require
pair of those myself,
164.
Laura. They'd be a Champions Night pair, though. Well, I'm not sure that's allowed. Well, I don't know what you're saying, to be fair. Could be saying, what do you fancy afterwards? Kebab or
132.
pizza?
Netherlands you require 32.
If he was telling him what double he wanted him to leave, I don't think that's in order.
Game shot on the first leg, the Netherlands.
Yeah, something that you can kind of have that quiet conversation prior.
I think they are being told, Laura.
Second leg, it's the Netherlands to throw first. Game on.
Well, we nearly had, I think, Danny off the stage once again there, because as he was backing up from the conversation with Jack about having that mid-match conversation, I think his foot just went into the little hole at the back of the stage.
Yeah, fair play to Jack Garwood. Just reminded them, look, it's a completely new format for a lot of these people, so they won't be aware of every little intricacy of the rules, and no harm done. But then, would he have been blamed for Danny Van Tripe ending up on his back again?
100.
Well, Henry has mentioned, obviously, Danny fell off the stage, but then he's also clattered into one of the TVs as well.
Yep.
Like, these things do come in threes, you know.
And we all thought that someone would be removed from the stage because they got kicked by Richie Burnett.
Yeah, I think everyone's quite aware of Richie. They seem to be clustered in the corner by the table when he's at the hockey.
Maybe that's why he's standing so far back. All's well that ends well for the Netherlands. This is looking like the kind of performance that they produced against Wales when they met yesterday.
Yeah, and the head-to-heads, it's 2-1 in favour of Wales. But as you mentioned, the all-important one was the one that came yesterday when they were demolished 4-0 by the Dutch pair.
Netherlands are required.
It was a defeat that cost them a place at the top of the table.
Double 12 after 12 for the Dutch double act.
Game shot.
And they double their lead.
The Netherlands.
They averaged 105 in that game. They're not far off that here.
Third leg. It's Wales to throw first. Game on.
Positive response from Kurt Parry for Wales. Their first 180 of the match.
Yeah, he's been the leading light in the maximum stakes, not just for Team Wales, but for the entire week. So many legs he started with 180s.
Well, he's one of those players that comes across when that first one lands. If his position's right, he's a bit of a first start merchant. He seems to be able to follow them in.
Yeah, big numbers from the Dutch pair. Wales starting to pick up as well. Oh, that won't help.
64.
But that will.
Van Tripe seems to be taking a different tact in the way he's standing. He's actually standing kind of on the other side at the moment.
Five.
Well, that all went wrong for Richie, didn't it? Snatched the darts out in anger. Kurt Parry just trying to calm him down. He's gone back to his magic lamp that is the Super Series speaker.
100.
Still no genie has appeared.
Netherlands you require 146.
Well, it's Netherlands first here for a chance to finish off a leg. Looking for another one of those. Double 16 for a 146.
114.
Wasn't a million miles away.
Wales you require 91.
Great attempt. And full credit to Kurt Parry in this leg, who's kind of carried Burnett through it. Can Burnett bail out at the end? Treble 14. Not found. So Van Tripe will return to open up a 3-leg
Netherlands
cushion.
require 32. Game shot in the third leg, the Netherlands.
Yeah, 3-0 it is, and a double break, and the Netherlands here with a chance to serve out another 4-0 victory over the Welsh pair.
First. Game on. $81.
So far tonight, no one's been beaten to nil. We've had quite a few 4-1s, 4-2s, but everyone's managed to get a leg or two on the board.
45. 57.
He's really looking focused at the moment, Jimmy Vansky. Great 146 attempt at the end of the previous leg.
Well, they are floundering at the bottom of the table with no points, a position that I don't think anyone would have thought they would have been in.
85.
Yeah, this would be an emphatic answer to that predicament.
95.
They just take the spring out of Team Wales' step as well.
$99.
They are first to a finish, but you would probably still back Netherlands at this point in this leg.
Yeah, especially after that first start. Benschke looking for another one in that treble 20 bed, and that's a great visit.
Wales, you require 160.
So, to stay in it. Oh, superb. Double top for Kurt Parry.
120.
Some attempt.
Netherlands, you require
I said to stay in it.
40.
Well, it's a game that they've not really been in. That dart tops was their first double in this game.
Game shot.
And the game is over. It's another Dutch demolition. 4-0 wins over Wales back-to-back now this week. And it sees the Dutch duo pick up points. A little conversation between the Netherlands pair following that 4-0 success. And the numbers stack up very nicely for them. 93.94 the average. 2 points to their name, meaning that this group is getting very, very close indeed. Coming up next, we're going to see Ireland take on Kenya.
Charlie McGuire, 164. 44. 32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score, leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts, but he'll be coming back.
It's a moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
jockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got out the match. And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate.
Welcome back to the action here at the Modus Super Series, where we're about to see a battle between Ireland and Kenya on the hockey. Peter Wachiri and Manpreet Kelsey of Kenya taking on Shane McGurk and John O'Shea of Ireland. Ireland have 4 points with 2 wins from 3. Kenya having got the better of the Netherlands team, which now seems like a really good result after the way they played against Wales. Well, they have 1 win from 2.
Yeah, Kenya, the only team now left with a couple of fixtures left. Obviously facing Ireland at the moment, but they will see out the evening with a match against Wales. But I think we kind of both agreed the opening match where they faced Germany, Kenya were a bit edgy, were a bit nervy up there.
First
really
leg,
did
it's
settle
Ireland
down
to
to get
throw
that
first.
4-2 victory over
Game on.
the Dutch duo. It was actually Ireland that suffered the 4-1 defeat at the hands of Wales, but really did bounce back well to demolish Germany 4-1. Feels like a night where all the points were being kind of shared out between everyone.
Yeah, there's nobody really grabbing the group by the scruff of the neck. It looked at first like Germany might do that. Since then, maybe Ireland have been the ones that threatened to do it.
96.
But you've got to go and actually win the games.
Well, the one thing we did see more from Ireland than we have seen from any other team in that last
29.
match was a real animation. John O'Shea making his presence known up on the hockey.
58. $24.
And taking a moment or two to find their range in this one, Kenya. Each scoring in the 20s in the last couple of
93.
visits.
Yeah, not a leg to panic on because the Irish pair do have the darts, but
60.
you're going to have to settle down pretty quick.
As mentioned earlier tonight, everything goes back to normal on Monday. We're going to get Series 11 underway. Group A. And the opening match will be Jeff Smith against Mervyn King. King will be completing a spell of 3 out of 4 weeks at the Super Series. Only missed the Women's Week, Laura.
48. Ireland
You do find that they do come in patches and periods like that.
Game shot on the
Well,
first
that's nice
leg.
from
Team Ireland.
the pumped up John O'Shea.
Second leg, it's Kenya to throw first. Game on. $95.
And for me, this is the leg for Kenya, all important. They're throwing first. They hadn't settled down particularly well in the opening leg.
95. $60.
Well, John O'Shea has been
100.
so serious tonight, hasn't he? You still not found a suitable nickname, Laura?
I haven't, no. No, I've had a few suggestions, some that I can't actually probably
41.
say on the TV.
Aura's a fashionable word now, isn't it? What about Laura the Aura?
Yeah. I don't know.
58.
It's like I've always wanted a tattoo, but I've never actually made a decision of what to be saddled with forever. And I know you can change a nickname, and I know you can remove a tattoo, but still, when I make the decision, I like to stick to it.
Why don't you get a word search tattooed? It'll give you years of fun.
55.
Darts-based tattoo, has that been in your mind? No, seems a very darts thing to do.
No, that's it. Yeah, I'm just never sure.
100.
A bit of a calculation error on the last throw there from Kenya.
Maybe he needs to tattoo the
42.
checkouts or the setup shots on his forearm. I'll take one of our darts maths lessons with the esteemed referee Owen Binks.
60.
The Modus Super
Ireland
Series.
Uruguay, 151.
Available across all our social media channels. You can see there at MSS Darts.
But it is those fine margins, it is those lapses in concentration, or just not looking far enough ahead. They can be really costly.
He liked the lie of that dart, so he decided to stay there.
54. Ireland Uruguay, 91.
Well, this leg's not done yet. Shane McGurk trying to make sure it is. May go double. I think he changed his mind about 3 times there.
Yeah, you have to be decisive. Caught in
41.
2 minds, and you tend to find that
Uruguay, 48.
kind of float between targets. Well, tops for parity.
Game shot on
And
the
it was
second
10s
leg.
in the
Team
end, and you
Kenya.
can see what it means to the Prince. Clenching of the fists as he converts 48 to make it 1 apiece.
Third leg, it's Ireland to throw first.
We've all got the little quirks,
Game on.
haven't they? It's interesting to see double the amount of players on stage. And for Manpreet Kelsey, it seems to be standing in the background, arms
137.
folded, as he watches the rest of the players.
$55.
Do you do something to pass the time when you're playing pairs matches, or even? I mean,
59.
there are matches that are triples, aren't there, as well?
Yeah, I've even played in something that used to be called the CIU8s, which was 1 throw in 16. That is a long time. That one you can just wander off, kind of go and have a chat with someone, pop back when it's your turn. Yeah, I guess so. I think pairs, pairs can be relatively rapid. You are back up, then you're really invested in it. Triples is
72.
a little bit more difficult. Can end up just having like 1 throw in, 1 throw a leg.
In the 8-player format, if the first 3 hit the 9 darter and you were the 4th player, would you claim that you?
81.
We didn't play 501.
Part of a 9 darter.
It wasn't 501.
301, was it?
45.
Yeah, we're still going. Yeah.
Well, if you can find a treble here, he'll leave a finish.
95.
Well, he has left the big fish. You would expect Shane McGurk here to leave something a little more handy, well, a lot more.
140. Can you require 170?
Can he net it? Another. Would have left the ball for a magical moment.
98.
Instead, O'Shea will
Ireland, you
step
require
forward for 48 to see Ireland regain the lead.
Up to double eight,
Game
and
shot
double
on the
eight's
third
found.
leg,
And
Team Ireland.
once again, that celebration that we're seeing time and time again from John O'Shea.
Fourth flag, it's Kenya to throw first. Game on.
Well, we felt this Ireland team could be a big threat this week, indeed in this group, and if they win this
96.
match, it will be a very good night for them with 3 wins from 4, 6 points to their name. Nobody's going to get more than that. They've all lost matches tonight.
96.
Yeah, good shift along the hockey and a good adjustment there from Kelsey to pin that treble 20 with the last.
60. $85.
Yeah, that's awkward. Thought the
47.
first start might have been a bit awkward and forced the switch earlier.
$41.
You could almost see that he threw that wrong. He knew it as the dart was flying out of his hand. He reacted before it hit the board.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of that from him.
60.
It's frustrating because it would have been in the back of his mind if he could just keep it straight. Then Maturi would have been returning here for a finish.
$81. $58. Kenya, you require 108.
108 then for Kelsey, and they have got an extra visit here. Double 16. Shows they don't need
On
it.
the fourth flag, Team Kenya.
Brilliant stuff from Manpreet Kelsey and Team Kenya.
Fifth flag, it's Ireland to throw first.
Yeah, nice to hear an audible reaction from the Kenyan pair.
$134.
Mentioned before, they were the rank outsiders coming into tonight's proceedings, and they've already beaten the second favourites in Netherlands, and they're putting up a real fight here against the Irish pair.
108.
And it's getting better and better. 108 checkout. 180 set off.
108.
I think John O'Shea enjoyed responding in kind. But hang on a minute.
You had to say it, didn't you?
80.
You were all thinking it. You were all getting excited.
Of course.
What a leg of darts this is between the pair of them.
136.
Yeah, brilliant leg, as you say, from both. And from McGurk and O'Shea, down to 51 in just 9 darts. Potential 11 darter incoming.
100. Ireland, you require 51.
Maybe some noise after this.
19.
Instead,
Kenya,
it's
you
a
require 141.
sigh of disappointment. Well, Kelsey managed to take out the ton topper in the previous leg. This would completely supersede that. Not going to happen. But he really has kicked on, hasn't he?
125.
Yeah, and a great last start as well.
Ireland, you
They
require
do get the opportunity
32.
to return, but it's McGurk here, double 16 for a holder throw, and to go
Game
within
shot on
one
the
of the
fifth
match.
flag, Team Ireland.
That is what they do.
So one away from
Sixth flag. It's
ending the
Kenya
evening
to
with
throw
6
first.
points.
Game on.
Kenya will return to take on Wales. We're also going to see Germany and the Netherlands do battle next.
85.
Yeah, Peter Bajori just nodding his head in approval with that last start, finding the intended target.
108.
Quite comical, isn't it, to watch Ireland sort of every dart that Shane McGurk puts in, John O'Shea's headbutting
32.
the air behind him in appreciation.
Safe to say he's well and truly invested.
81.
I wonder if he's going to watch back later and say, I wonder if Shane McGurk's doing the same for me when I'm throwing. No, John, he's not even watching, mate.
85.
But it's a pretty good performance, and it's going to turn out to be a pretty good night, this, for Ireland.
And 108.
And McGurk himself has had an incredible leg here. He's thrown 6 darts.
45.
And scored 360 points.
60.
Yeah, shake of the head, disappointed. Pulls it in, but if he can find 15, he'll have a nice clear shot at tops for the match.
40.
It wasn't as clear quite as I thought. That 5 was awkward.
Well, John's been useless in this leg, hasn't he? I'm joking, John. Shane McGurk's been absolutely superb, and it's maybe fitting that he will take the glory.
59.
Double 10 to win
20.
it. The 13 dart leg. Trying to open up the angle. Oh, how much can he see? He stays where he is.
10.
I think he may have needed to move.
Yeah, I agree. That second dart just made it far more awkward than the first. O'Shea will be back for double 5.
95. Ireland, you require 10.
Kenya are creeping up on them.
Can John O'Shea get it
Game
done?
shot and
Yes,
the
he
match.
can.
Team
And
Ireland.
it's a very nice evening's work for Ireland. John O'Shea and Shane McGurk come away with 3 wins from 4, 6 points, and they move to the top of the Group B table with victory over Kenya, who still have a game to play. Not undoable damage. They are going to take on Wales in their final match, but Ireland end the evening with a victory and took 3 victories tonight. Top of the table as it stands. That could change next when Germany take on the Netherlands.
Yeah, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. We now have the penultimate game of the evening here in Group B. We've just seen Ireland move on to 6 points to top the table, and Germany, who are sat on 4 points, looking to do the same thing, but Netherlands stands in their way. And I will say Netherlands didn't have the best of starts to the evening, lost their opening 2 matches. And there seems to be a little bit of a conversation going on the stage. I can see numbers being pointed, but I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, I think they might be mocking the referee. I hope he's got his yellow card in his pocket.
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing to do.
Jack Garwood officiating all the matches this evening. I think it's a tough job being a referee in any sport, but darts in particular, you've got to do so much, haven't you? People think it's just about calling out the numbers,
First
but they've got to
leg,
be
it's the Netherlands to throw first.
able to add them up and
Game on.
have a look at what else is going on the hockey as well. They're in charge of the stage.
Yeah, I've got a real respect for what the referees do, having had a microphone thrust into my hand to call out a final on a couple of occasions. Yeah, I'm happy on a microphone, but if anyone's seen me play, counting is not necessarily my forte, to the point that I actually had to get the chalker to write the score up really quickly so I could copy it off what they said.
56.
I don't think it's the right way to do it.
Industrious.
Yeah, I did say you have to chalk this up really
55.
quickly, because if they go round the board, I've got no idea what's happening. But yeah, and especially in pairs, it probably gives a different element to it as well for Jack, because obviously you've got to try
81.
and remember who's throwing, when they're throwing. It's not just, as you say, the counting, but it's the order that people are throwing in.
Yeah, well, we've seen him pull up teams on a couple of things tonight. The Dutch in their previous game, when Jimmy Van
55.
Skeeg tried to give Danny Van Tripe a little bit of advice about where to throw. He said, no, you can't do that, pal.
100. $58.
Yeah, the German pair made a really good start to the evening. Got the opening win over Wales, 4-1, and backed it up with a 4-2 victory over Kenya. Did come slightly unstuck when they faced Ireland, lost that 4-1, but it was a bit of a reversal in fortunes for the Netherlands. They've only just won their first fixture.
58.
It was a 4-2 win, a 4-0 win over Wales. But up to that point, they were languishing at the bottom of the table.
117. Netherlands require 150.
Solid visit from Schnitting.
58.
And this is what they were really good at the start of the evening. These kind of 2 dart combination finishes.
$57. Netherlands require 92.
They've put themselves on a double here. Well, they're going to go at it to break the throw. Jimmy Van Skeeg takes his time, makes his choice. Now he's got another one to make, and it's double-double. Shake of the head,
56.
an opportunity for Germany to break here.
40. $20. Netherlands require 36.
Over for double nine, and that is the risk with double nine. You've
28.
got to go for it. You've got to attack
Germany
it, but you go
requires
inside
20.
with 2 darts, and that's throw over.
Game shot on the first leg. Team Germany.
Yeah, it's a break of throw for Team Germany.
Second leg. It's Germany to throw first. Game on.
If they come away with 6 points tonight, it's going to make this group very, very interesting indeed. 10 points is the magic number in this group. If you get that amount, you will be through, provided that every team has points, and they do in this group. So officially, Germany would be 2 wins away. You would think they might only be 1 win away.
Yeah, probably 1 win away from making it through to finals night, and then it's all jostling for position when you get to that point.
If Netherlands win,
94.
then it's going to be 6 points Ireland, 4 for Germany and the Netherlands, and 2 apiece for Kenya and Wales. Wales have got work to do. But they, of course, do play, so one of those 2 teams at the bottom will get to 4.
Yeah, and I think whichever one do will probably feel rather relieved, because definitely been a campaign of 2 halves for those 2 teams.
Great darts from Jimmy Van Ski, and they really needed those in this leg. They were looking like they were out of it, but now they're first to a checkout.
Yeah, good switch from Althaus.
96. Netherlands require 146.
Another one. Just like the other one. Double 16, and that is a superb spell for the brilliant Dutch duo.
Third leg, it's the Netherlands to throw
Quad
first.
80, Van Ski to set up 146, and Van Tripe duly obliges in taking it out.
Yeah, 6 perfect darts to end a 12 dart breaker throw.
140.
Have had these spells, these surges over the course of the week, haven't they, where they've just both found the top game at the same time.
60. $45.
But you would have to argue, although Ireland are sat on 6 points at the top of the table, you still get the feeling that no one's really taken a hold of this group yet. God, that's an angry grimace there from Jimmy Van Ski.
140.
I do admire particularly the Dutch pair, who are pretty pacey players who like to get on with it, sort of march around the stage.
58.
Having to wait those 3 throws and then still keeping the rhythm. I think Van Ski in particular has been a master of that.
60.
He stays in the game, doesn't he? He's focused. He's watching everything that's happening. He's not someone who tries to look away and distract himself. He's very invested in the match.
60. Netherlands require 116.
Yeah, a real opportunity here now to take the lead for the first time.
Could move away.
60.
He did have options with Germany back, not on a finish.
Netherlands
They
require
are now,
56.
but he senses this is a key opportunity for Danny.
Game shot on the third leg.
One that he's taken.
Seem to have taken control of the contest as well here, Netherlands.
Fourth leg, it's Germany to throw first. Game on. 100.
Now opts to switch.
59.
But he really does look very focused, Van Ski.
Been impressed with Marcel Althaus as well tonight. He's certainly
86.
proven himself as a decent darts player. There are those that will know him from his YouTube channel and across other social media. He was regarded as a sort of influencer, wasn't he, when he's played in Pro-Am events over in Germany, but he's pursuing a career in darts and
58.
he's certainly moving in the right direction with his game.
Yeah, absolutely. Played in things like PDC Europe. Seen him on the Challenge Tour. Started out, kind of dabbled in 2021, but
140.
same in 23 and 24, and has had a few attempts at Q score as well. Made the final standings not so long ago. So as you say, real progression there.
99.
And I do think playing in arenas like this here at the Live Lounge is just invaluable experience, especially for players where they are just trying to look to get to the next level, progress their career.
Germany require 158. Netherlands require 142.
Well, we've already seen 146 taken out. Jimmy Van Skeet can't add a 142.
$46. Germany require 100.
Wasn't far away from the top target.
Netherlands require 96.
But a real opportunity now to stretch the lead for the Netherlands, and another option for double-double, and skies it.
Germany requires 60.
Yeah, could be a big moment, this. 2 at tops for Schlichting.
20.
Both of them go begging.
Netherlands require 56.
Top Savanski.
16. Germany require 40.
Well, they're all having a go at tops. How will Marcel get on? 2 10s. Double 5.
35. Netherlands require 40.
Yeah, just a little bit lacking in power that last throw, but it could prove really costly.
Game shot on the 4th flag.
One of those legs where every single player on the stage had darts at a double, but it was Danny Van Tripe who stood tall and
5th
delivered.
flag. It's the Netherlands to throw first. Game on.
The Netherlands now lead 3-1 and are 1 away. From kind of salvaging their night tonight, you would have expected them to have got 4 points as an absolute minimum requirement. Well, that's what they're going to end up with, the same as Germany.
Yeah, but they've had to really work hard for it.
60.
They had to, yeah, certainly do it the hard way, having lost their first couple of matches.
55. $60. $98.
I was about to say that was a really inviting first dart for Jimmy, and you could tell from the reaction, I think he thought the same, didn't quite make as much of it as he would have liked.
100.
Well, there's still
28.
opportunities here for Germany. $89.
And tried the switch down to the 19s, just the wrong side, and you feel when Danny Van Tripe comes back to the board, well, I was going to say should be on something.
42.
Well, I felt he should have been on something, but actually turns out not going to be.
57.
Yeah, some cagey moments.
$58. Germany require 135.
120 then for Vansky when he returns to finish the job.
57. Netherlands require 120.
Gets the treble. Gets a single. He's had to use all of the hockey here.
Game shot.
For a
and the
crafty,
match, the Netherlands.
clinical 120 checkout to win the game for Team Netherlands. A victory that sees them pull level on points with Germany, the pair they've just beaten. Van Tripe leaves the stage happy. He got a 146 checkout in that game. Jimmy Vansky added a 120 to win the match, and it's a 4-1 victory over Germany that sees them tied in second and third place in the table on 4 points. Either Kenya or Wales will join them when they do battle after the break.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Final fixture of Thursday, then bringing an end to 25 fabulous darts matches here at the Modus Super Series on this International Pairs week. And this one is going to determine which of these teams are going to be on 4 points come the end of this group. Wales against Kenya, both of them on 2 points in the table. And one of them will join Netherlands and Germany on 4. We're not going to know anything tonight, Laura, are we? The way the results have gone, it's all going to come down to tomorrow for every team involved.
Yeah, it feels like one of those days, because you look back earlier on this afternoon at Group C, and you've got everyone still in the mix. No one's taken a hold of that group either, and yeah, exactly the same here in Group B. I mean, it keeps it all very interesting for every single party coming back in here tomorrow. But for one of these two, they are going to be running the risk of being ever so slightly cut adrift from the rest of the pack, because one of them will be leaving, as you say, with 4 points. The other will be disappointed to walk away with just the 2.
Well, the Prince and the Prince shake hands.
First
then the
leg,
Prince and the
it's
King shake
Kenya to
hands.
throw first.
And then the Prince,
Game on.
the Prince and the King shake hands with Kurt Parry.
76.
Isn't there another Prince of Wales in darts as well? Didn't someone else nick Richie Bennett's nickname?
108.
Louis Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few kind of nicknames that have been recycled, would you say, over time?
60.
There's been a few Kings. One on the stage right now, one on the stage earlier today. The Wizard originally belonged to Colin Osborne, didn't it?
Yeah, the Iceman.
Alan Moriner.
And then there's a flurry of players that just like to get on the superhero train as well. Maybe more supervillains. We've had the Riddler and the Joker here at the Super Series today.
Last week at the... I've not seen Batman yet, but last week at the Women's Week we had Robin, didn't we?
We did indeed. Although that's her actual name.
55.
I mean, that would be some epic costume, wouldn't it, if someone was to come on as Batman, full mask?
Yeah, more like Del Boy and Rodney, I think.
54. Kenya, you require 170.
Well, the big fish is on offer for one team, the little fish on offer for the other.
$134.
Yeah, it's a great setup, though, if Wales can't find the little fish.
Ball.
Game
They
shot
can.
the first leg. Team Wales.
Perfectly pitched by Parry, and Richie Burnett enjoyed that. The old Bob Anderson finger point in Kurt's
Second leg,
direction.
it's Wales to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, there's only one limestone cowboy.
140.
They used to do that after every 180, didn't he, Bob Anderson, including when he played at the World Seniors Championship. An iconic moment. What will Churi do after this one?
108.
I don't think he knew he'd hit it at first. Seemed a little surprised.
Yeah, just a little nod of the head. Rather understated celebration.
He was giving it a lot more on that finals night, wasn't he?
We had a backup band by way of Boo Boo Sailors in the audience.
Well, Kenya have been competitive. Got a brilliant win against the Netherlands earlier. They've got
100.
opportunity here to add to that points tally against Wales. And the way this game started, we might be saving the best match until last.
140. Wales, you require 161.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw the 130 from Parry. But they're not going to add the 161, so could be a break straight back.
65. Kenya, you require 81.
Double 12 for an 11 dart leveler.
Game shot on the second leg. Team Kenya.
What a game this is.
Third leg, it's
Look at
Kenya
those numbers. I mean,
first.
we're only 2 legs into it. However, Some matches only need 4 legs. 111.46 from Kenya.
Yeah, we've spoken about it. We know from what we've been told that these guys, they've got the levels, and we've seen Peter Ventura and what he can do here, obviously making it all the way through to the finals of a weekly final.
100.
But I do feel if Wales don't get the victory here, it really is. They're going to feel quite hard done by, considering how close they were to qualifying via Group 8.
Yeah, they'd be needing their own great escape then. Having seen Scotland produce
125.
one. It took, remember, Scotland to win their last 9 matches in that group and Wales to lose their last 4.
$85.
And that's one of the amazing things about the Super Series is we do see a different story every week.
108. He. $44.
On Saturday, if you were missing it, we will relive that story. Join us at 7:30 UK time for finals night. Will Wales be there? They're certainly lifting their levels in this match.
56. $140.
It's another great
Wales
response from
require
Peter
40.
Veturi, but could be all academic here. And it
It's
is.
on the third leg. Team Wales.
Wales really have started to up those levels right at the very end of the evening.
Fourth leg. It's Wales to throw first.
They're still both teams averaging in 3 figures. Not a dart missed at double in this game yet. Combination checkouts, 81 for one team,
45.
130 for t'other.
Can full Yorkshire on me there, Murph.
$60.
Maybe we should do county pairs next time.
140.
I'm all for maybe trying a mixed pair. I think you've got some good options out there.
Who do you want to be with? Go on, Laura.
100.
As a favour from the Modus Super Series, you can choose your mixed pairs partner. Who is it?
I'd feel awful if I didn't say my husband, to be perfectly honest.
But you do want to win, don't you?
134.
And watch out for the Turner's Tungsten Talk coming up on the Modus Super Series Darts channel on Pluto TV.
123.
It was definitely an experience, I'll give you that.
$59.
I think Manpreet Kelsey really has settled in. He's got better and better as the evening's gone on.
Yeah, absolutely.
98.
Yeah, and that 140 from Kelsey
You require
just set
78.
up a chance here for Churi to level us up once again. Tops the target for 2 apiece.
Gets
Tops
on the
is
fourth
found.
leg. Team Kenya.
Team Kenya 2 from 2 on the outer ring and still averaging over 100.
Fifth leg. It's Kenya to throw first.
Well, there were those that thought this game might be over after 4 legs, but Team Kenya tying it at 2-2. And they do have the throw. And it has been the game of the night, as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. Saving their best till last.
$140.
I think that third one was Well on its way to the treble 20, just took an unfortunate deflection.
40.
Well, that was rather unfortunate itself.
$60. $22.
How often do we say it's all about timing? And that was a couple of poorly timed visits from the Kenyan pair.
77.
And Kurt Parry, they're rescuing that throw with his last dart.
87.
That was also a rescued visit because Kenya, having put themselves back in the box seat, kind of surrendered that advantage throughout this leg.
$58.
I'm not sure what he was thinking or if he was thinking, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely. Miscalculation.
85.
Come on, Kurt, take it out, son.
$98. Kenya, you require 167.
And this would be some showstopper.
$127. Wales, you require 68.
Burnett to give Wales the lead. Double four. And still.
60.
And still.
Kenya, you require
Burnett reverses,
40.
but it might be Kenya accelerating towards the checkered flag here. Double 10. Oh, it sneaks
Gets
in.
on the fifth
And
leg.
Kenya
Team
sneak in
Kenya.
front.
Sixth flag. It's Wales to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Richie Burnett. Head in his hands and off to his corner. Cannot believe that
140.
he missed those two darts at double four.
Do you know when they say you come to
60.
your mortal end and all your memories flash before your eyes? I felt like that was happening with Richie Bennett, but just on this week in that moment.
140.
Needs to stay in the present and make sure that they at least take Kenya to a last leg shootout.
45.
Well, it is a good response from Wales. Back-to-back 140s and Kurt Parry back in there again.
108. He 108.
Well, that's an answer and a half.
Wales, you require 41.
But it may not matter. Double 16 for Burnett.
Yeah,
That's an
it's on
11
the
dart
sixth
leg out of
leg.
nowhere.
Team
Wales have produced a gold standard leg of darts.
Seventh
Richie
and
Burnett
final
forces
leg.
a
It's
handshake on
Kenya to
everybody.
throw first.
And we get underway in this last leg decider.
$60.
It's the first time that Kenya's found themselves
97.
in this position. All their matches so far gone 4-2, one way or the other.
41.
They are still averaging 102.55 here, Wales. It's a top quality performance. A little team talk in this leg there between Wachuri and Kelsey.
97.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get his pairs partner just to take a bit of a breath.
$81.
That last answer sneaking into the corner of treble 20.
$85.
Can you need a big visit here?
$40.
Yeah, I just get the sense that Kelsey, just a little bit of panic stations here. As I say, they haven't been forced to
42.
serve out a match when it's been 3 apiece. They'll add that extra bit of pressure.
$121.
Well, this could be absolutely perfect by
140.
Parry to tee up Richie
Can you
Burnett for what
require
could be a
158?
crucial win. But first, they have to hope that Manpreet Kelsey hasn't got a moment of magic in him. He hasn't on this occasion.
94.
It's a good last,
Wales
but
you
match-winning
require
chance here for
40.
Wales.
Well, it's always been dramatic this week when Richie Burnett's been at the hockey.
20.
And there might yet be another twist.
He requires
And another
64.
cruel turn for Wales here. As Peter Wachuri of Kenya looks to win the leg. Looks to win the match. But Kenya can't claim it.
Wales, you require 20.
Yeah, match starts come and gone for both, but it's Kurt Parry that now steps up. Double 10 stands between him and another couple of points on the table.
And there it is. Wales get the win. Kenya will be bitterly disappointed, but they've been competitive tonight and they have picked up a couple of points. Wales, though, have put an end to that losing streak. It continued early into the evening, but what a way to end the night. 97.4 for the average, 4-3 the victory for Wales. A brilliant game which saw 5 180s, and that ends the evening with Wales defeating Kenya 4-3. Well, this is what we've seen at the end of tonight. A fantastic performance against Wales by the Dutch, a 4-0 win for them. Ireland picking up their 3rd win from their 4 matches tonight. Netherlands beating Germany 4-1, and then that last leg decider win for Wales, meaning that they're on 4 points in the table along with Germany and the Netherlands. Ireland top of the pile going into tomorrow. Coming next, David Davis, Tungsten Talk, the Welshman who's had success here at the Super Series. That is up next, and we'll be back tomorrow with another double session of darts.